Having completed everything that the game has to offer, and whipping up very powerful and OP builds for all of the characters for your viewing pleasure, I found myself enticed, captivated by this one question that I needed answering. Can you actually one-shot Simon solo with every single character in Clair Obscur Expedition 33? The answer is pretty surprising and actually had me quite shocked. I'm sure it will surprise you as well. Drawing upon all of my knowledge and experience to date, revisiting my previous builds, and wading knee-deep into the dense thickets of theory crafting, I set out to get an answer to this burning question. But before we go experimenting with attempts to maximize our OP-ness, I want to lay some ground rules with exactly what I mean with one-shotting Simon. The challenge is for true solo, so that means going in with just one party member, not with two that auto-die and fill the break bar, etc., making it a little bit trickier than if we could. The inherent implication of a one-shot is that it is delivered in one single blow. That would make for a very boring, very quick experiment. Maelle can do it, everyone else can't. Instead, we'll be slightly tweaking the definition here for the sake of Expedition 33 and how it works, for the one-shot to be defined as the duration of the player's turns before Simon moves. We will be playing in the standard Expeditioner difficulty, not in Expert, and we'll be jumping directly into Phase 2 Simon, the version that you face once you've already defeated him and you can replay the fight. He's got approximately 45 million HP to get through, so we certainly have our work cut out for us. Let's make a start. We'll get the obvious one out the way with first Maelle, going over the build, the theory crafting, the intention behind it, and then the actual execution of the one-shot. The weapon of choice is the fantastic Yevarum, upgraded all the way to maximum level 33, giving us 10,486 power, with max attributes allocated into might, agility, and defense. The additional bonuses here are very important, in particular the level 4 and level 20 bonuses. The first also applying one shield when applying Sciel, with the second level 20 bonus doubling all shields on all allies including Maelle upon switching to Virtuo's stance. There's only two skills we're going to be using here, so as long as you've got those, the rest are completely up to you. The first is Last Chance, reducing Maelle's HP to 1 but refills all of her AP and switches her over to Virtuo's stance. Chased up with the absolutely devastating Stendhal, dealing extreme single target void damage over one hit, which will also remove all self shields and self plies defenseless, but that doesn't really matter if you're one-shotting your opponent. For her Pictos, I've honestly not really bothered because it didn't really need it, but here is a good opportunity to equip ones with high Lumina costs so that you essentially get them for free. Here are all the Luminas I'm going to be using. It doesn't even have all of the damage increasing ones such as Burn Affinity. We're not going to be applying any marks either. It really is quite simple to do. This is the only case where Augmented First Strike and First Offensive are actually very useful. As with Maelle, we will be getting a one-shot in the truest sense of it. All of our solo skills like Empowering Last Stand, Solo Fighter, Last Stand Critical, they're all great. Powerful Shields, Shield Affinity, Solidifying are all going to be fantastic with the Yevarum as well. We don't actually need Cheetah here, Shortcut is fine. And we don't even need the AP generation either, that's just what I have, because Last Chance only costs 1 AP and then we'll be at max anyhow. That's the setup, that's the idea behind it. Let's put it into practice and see if we can get the one-shot. Starting the fight, we'll get all of our buffs and start with 5 shields. No auto death in Survivor, we're going to be using Last Chance to get to 1 HP anyhow, activating at Death's Door for a nice damage boost, putting us into Virtuo stance for plus 200% damage and doubling all of our shields to the maximum 9. We follow up with Stendhal in the hopes to erase Simon from the canvas in one swoop. Augmented First Strike and First Offensive still active. We need the 200% roll on roulette and... boom! Not even close, dude. 87.3 mil. Easy peasy, bro. No Burn Affinity, no Mark, no Defenseless or Greater Defenseless. But where we were missing those, we did have Augmented First Strike and First Defensive in our favor. 10 out of 10 would Stendhal again. Easy one-shot. Let's go. So, can you solo one-shot Simon with Maelle? Yes, you can. It's time to up the stakes slightly because Maelle was an absolute given, let's be honest, we're not surprised. The next character we're going to attempt this with is Verso, and the build that I'm approaching it with is something that might surprise you. You've probably caught it in one of my previous videos, dubbed as the Infinite Void build. The weapon of choice will be the Noceram, something you've probably not explored at all before, upgraded to maximum level 33, with our attributes maxed out into Might, Agility, and Luck, giving us 11,088 power. The level 4 bonus bonus providing double perfection gained on free aim shots will help us get to S rank nice and easily, and the level 20 bonus giving us 50% increased free aim damage is going to stack really nicely. We will only be using free aim shots and one skill, that is follow up, which deals medium single target light damage over one hit, the damage of which increases for each free aim shot used this turn up to 10 times. It only costs 2 AP at S rank instead of 5, so we'll have absolutely tons of AP to play around with. For the Pictos, I've equipped ones that I actually need for the setup, which are all very high value luminas, Double Mark costing 20 lumina points, Energy Master costing 40, and Cheetah also costing 40, saving me a whopping 100 lumina points in the build. For the Luminas, there is much more of a focus on free aim shots and ensuring we're getting the most out of them, including augmented aim, accelerating shots, burning shots, energizing shots, marking shots, everything we need to ensure that we can keep getting as many free aim shots out as possible to do as much damage before we then attempt to seal the deal with follow-up. We will be utilizing burn affinity, marking, and exposing attack as well, because we'll be doing a basic attack. So whilst we won't have augmented first strike or first offensive in play, we will be activating many other damage increasing luminas, using all the solo luminas and painter as well to transform the Nosaram's physical free aim shots into void bullets. Void being an element that completely bypasses defenses, it's just pretty cool. And funnily enough, no need for roulette, so take it if you want to, but you don't need to. That is the setup all done. We have our build in place. Let's put it to the test and see what we can do. We start up the fight with all of our buffing luminas, increasing our damage, and immediately we're going to go straight into free aim and fire off as many shots as we can into Simon's massive forehead. Because of the build, we will often get AP back as we're actually firing off the shots, allowing us to go for quite some time. After exhausting our AP with free aim shots, we finish with a basic attack, which will also apply greater defenseless. For the second turn, we'll be doing more of the same. You'll notice that we reached S rank ages ago on our first turn with the free aim shots. All we need to do is make sure that we end on more than 2 AP and that Simon is marked. Once we're primed, all that's left is to unleash follow-up and... oh my gosh, it's too easy, dude. That's just how we do. 33.6 mil damage with the follow-up strike. Easily enough to take him down after the damage that we did with the free aim shots and the strong basic attack as well. And we didn't even take roulette. Imagine we took that and it procs for the 200%. That would be insane. Of course, you don't need to take the Nosaram for this setup. You can take a variety of different weapons. I'm sure it will be really effective with the Chevelum, the Blowdam, and a bunch of others too. So can you solo one-shot Simon with Verso? Yes, indeed you can. Going into this next one with Lune, I knew I'd have to be pulling out all of the stops for even a chance at success. The weapon of choice is the absolutely devastating Scaverim, maxed out to level 33, with the accompanying attributes also maxed out Vitality, Might, and Agility to 99, giving us a massive power rating of 13,106. We have no use for the bonus modifiers, they're not going to come into play at all, as we won't be seeing any Dark Stains if the one-shot is successful. The rationale behind using the Scaverim lies purely with its massive power rating. For the skills, we're going to be trying out a few different things, all of which will be follow-ups to one core skill beforehand, Elemental Trick, which deals low single target ice, fire, lightning, and earth damage over 4 separate hits, which will generate the corresponding stain as we always critical strike, which primes Lune to unleash the full damage version of a variety of other skills, including Elemental Genesis, Lightning Dance, and the Devastating Hell. For both the Pictos and the Luminas, they are very similar to what we had for Verso. We have Energizing Turn, Cheetah, and Energy Master equipped for free, saving us 20, 40, and 40 Lumina points, knocking 100 off the build. For the Luminas, we want all the solo ones, all of the damage increasing ones, including Roulette. Our free aim shots need to be able to mark and inflict burn. We'll be rocking burn affinity, double mark, and stay marked to ensure that we can get the most out of it. Some solid AP generation to ensure we can keep firing our free aim shots, and that we start off completely juiced. That's the build. This is the best we've got. Let's hope that it's going to be enough. But I've been managing my expectations with Lune with this challenge for the entire time. We've got multiple different skills to try out, but the setup is the same. Fire off some free aim shots to apply burn and mark, to follow up with Elemental Trick so that we can get properly primed. For the next turn, after getting all 4 stains, I'd fire off a couple more free aim shots to make sure that the mark is reapplied before attempting the finishers. I tried Elemental Genesis bonus a few times, which is an absolutely devastating attack. But I could only really see that working if the mark constantly got reapplied and roulette rolled for 200% like every single time, which is highly unlikely. I also tried to seal the deal with lightning dance, which is a very powerful single target move. Same deal, it's over 6 hits. I would really want mark to keep getting reapplied, and I'd like those 200% rolls each time with roulette. It's doable, it's possible, it's just pretty unlikely. I was pretty close to throwing in the towel after hitting my head against this for some time, and I'd already tried it with hell a few times as well. But I thought, what the hell, let's try hell some more. It's a little trickier because you need 9 AP to be able to use hell, so on your second turn when you're using free aim shots to reapply mark, you just need to be a little bit lucky to ensure that you're on maximum AP. Everything's in place, we've already got burn and a double mark as well. Now we pray. And roulette pulled through with the double 200% rolls. Oh my goodness, it is done. Everything lined up perfectly. We'd already applied burn. We'd got the double mark in time in place for the 2 hits of hell. And then roulette came through, 200% rolls on both the first and second hit, dishing out just shy of 59 million damage. Absolutely insane. I genuinely thought Lune was going to be the first character who was unable to do this. So we ask, can Lune solo one-shot Simon? It would appear that when the stars align, she can. So far, that's 3 for 3, woo-wee mon ami. So how's Sciel going to fare here? Because we're not going to be able to do any of the gradient moves. This is going to be super tricky. The weapon of choice will be the fantastic Charnon, upgraded to the maximum level 33, using the respective scaling attributes Might, Luck, and Defense, bringing the power rating to 9,275. The main bonus we're interested in here is the level 10 one, which applies 1 foretell per critical hit. We're always going to dish out criticals because of last stand critical, of course, which will be our vehicle for getting all 10 foretell applied to Simon. The level 20 bonus giving us 20% increased damage for each consecutive turn without taking damage is fantastic. However, I'm not entirely sure that even activates because of auto death and survivor on your first turn. Maybe that's pre your turn, so it does proc the 20% increase, I'm not too sure. Either way, that's there. The setup is going to utilize 2 skills over the 2 turns to hopefully seal the deal. First, we'll be playing Fortune's Fury, allowing Sciel to deal double damage for the next turn. Note, we're not going to be using the first turn to apply any foretell, hence why we need that for the free aim shots. After which, we will follow it up with Twilight Dance, dealing extreme single target dark damage over 4 hits, consuming all foretell to deal additional damage. It costs a whopping maximum 9 AP, and we're not going to be in Twilight, so we're not too fussed about the Twilight bonus, which is going to be rough because Twilight gives us a massive damage increase. Pictos are the same, the devastating dastardly trio. Energy Master, Energizing Turn, Cheetah saves us 100 Lumina points from the build, which follows the very similar recipe we have seen thus far, ensuring that our free aim shots are flowing and plentiful with AP generation whilst we're doing them, stacking burn to activate burn affinity, being able to mark and ensuring that it sticks with double mark and stay marked, all of our wonderful solo luminas, last stand critical, solo fighter, empowering last stand, etc. And all of our damage boosting skills with roulette being absolutely essential. That's the build, that's the theory. Let's see if we can pull it off in practice. Easier said than done because in theory I haven't shit my pants, whereas in practice they are currently 50 shades of brown. Starting the fight, I receive all of my damage increasing luminas, set to 1 HP with auto death and survivor. I've got 5 shields, etc. The first step is to get 10 foretell applied via free aim shots, which will be critical strikes, applying 1 foretell per crit thanks to the Charnon ability, and of course we're hoping that we can apply a stack of burn so that we can activate burn affinity. Once we're done, we need to have 5 AP remaining in order to cast Fortune's Fury, giving us double damage on our next turn. We then need to make sure that we've applied mark and regenerate all the way up to maximum 9 AP in order to execute the coup de grace Twilight Dance. This alone could be problematic if I didn't proc the correct luminas during the free aim shots, getting to 9 AP, applying mark. It didn't always happen. And even when it did, I wanted roulette to proc for all 4 of the hits and to make sure they were hitting a mark every time, which meant that I needed to get lucky with stay marked as well. Coin flip after coin flip. Initially, I thought this was just going to be impossible with Sciel. However, after my first few attempts and seeing how they played out, I knew it was. I just needed the right rolls. We go again. First, we build up the 10 foretell with the free aim shots. 5 AP to cast Fortune's Fury for double damage on the next turn. Free aim shots once more to get back to maximum 9 AP and apply a double mark. Execute Twilight Dance and... Oh boy, she actually did it. Oh my goodness. It was really tight. It needed everything to fall in line, all of the coin flips to be in my favor. But after a few attempts, the marks came through and roulette paid off. Bet you didn't think that was doable with Sciel without her gradient attacks. Hey, look, I'm just as surprised. That was awesome. So can you solo one-shot Simon with Sciel? Yeah, the Queen of Darkness can make it happen. Every single character's managed to pull it out of the bag. All that remains is to see if Monoco can do the same. The weapon of choice is of course going to be his widely considered ultimate weapon, the Gyaro, upgraded to the maximum level 33, with the corresponding scaling attributes maxed out as well with might, defense and agility, giving us a power rating of 11,595. The most important of the weapon bonuses is the first level 4 bonus, allowing us to immediately start the battle in Almighty Mask. Similarly to what I said with Sciel, I'm not sure if the 20% increased damage for each consecutive turn without taking damage actually comes into effect because of the first turn's auto death and survivor. I'm not sure, but if it does, it is there. We're going to use a combination of free aim attacks, a basic attack, and only one skill. None of the Almighty Mask abilities, but in fact the absolutely devastating Creation Void, which deals extreme void damage to random targets over 3 hits, dealing increased damage if the same target is hit multiple times. In this case there's only Simon, so it will be, costing the full maximum 9 AP. The same setup of Pictos as with a bunch of the other characters, equipping Cheetah, Energizing Turn and Energy Master, saving us 100 Lumina points from the build. Once more, our Luminas are very similar to the other setups thus far. We want to be able to apply double mark via free aim shots, sticking on a stack of burning whilst we're there, solid general AP generation and surrounding our free aim shots too. We'll also be taking exposing attack. If you've got room for it, greater defenseless would be good here too, as the basic attack will not consume the Almighty Mask. All of our solo Luminas like Solo Fighter, Last Stand Critical, Accelerating Last Stand, Empowering Last Stand, etc. All of our damage boosting Luminas at Death's Door with Auto Death and Survivor, Greater Powerful, Glass Cannon, Immaculate, all the rest. You don't need Painter, I'm not sure why that's here, and you do need Roulette, that is very important. We have the theory, we have the build, we have the feat. So let's see if we can't make them shine. Upon starting the fight, you'll get bukakied by all of your damage increasing Luminas as always, and the only thing we're really looking for from the free aim shots in the first turn is to apply a stack of burning. Applying the mark can wait for the second turn, but it would be great to get it in the first and for everything to just flow nicely. I only realized I've got the room to apply defenseless with a basic attack due to a failed run and how that played out. Into turn 2, we need to make sure that we get back up to maximum 9 AP and that Simon is burning and has a double mark applied. Primed for the finisher, we'll be executing Creation Void to finish the job, hoping for favorable coin flips on both stay marked and from the 200% damage roll with Roulette. Very similar to my attempts with Sciel. Once I tried putting this theory into practice with Monoco, it was very clear that this could work, which I genuinely didn't think it could. When I started this video idea, I thought it was just going to be Maelle and Verso who could do it. After some failed attempts and some tweaks to the build, which you've already seen the finished product of at the beginning of this, Simon's burned, marked and defenseless, and I've got 9 AP raring to go. Dare we dream? Ain't no way, bro. Unbelievable. He actually clutched it. You'll notice that I missed the first input on the skill and that Roulette rolled a 50% on the second hit as well. Despite that, it was enough to push it over the line and finish him. Highest damage 26 mil for that last third hit. Overall damage dealt 45 mil, enough to take him out. Like with both Lune and Sciel, I was genuinely shocked. This was incredible. So we ask once more, can Monoco solo one-shot Simon? Of course he can. And the wider question, can you solo one-shot Simon with every character in Clair Obscur Expedition 33? Well, actually, yeah, you can. And it's as simple as 33, woo-wee, mon ami. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, you can subscribe for more. But either way, until next time, for those who come after.